Wakefield, St Helens are the Women's Super League champions. The most amazing game for the Leeds Rhinos. Warrington dominating. Great try for the Robins. Huddersfield Giants take the points home. Invested in the poor lad. That is one sensational try. 3 in a row. The Saints, the three-peat is achieved. An 8th grand final win for the Red Bee.
Hello, welcome to the Last Tackle, exclusive on the Sportsman, and we've just about recovered from the magic weekend at Newcastle, and for our debrief I'm delighted to welcome to the studio Adrian Morley and Eddie Hemmings. Thanks for coming in, gents. Moz, we'll talk about the games in detail, but overall as a weekend, a huge success.
Oh, fantastic. I mean, the weather obviously helped in that regards, but every game was a belter, really. I thought it was a fantastic advert for our sport. I think it was one of the probably the best magic weekends we've had. And yeah, there was 3 really juicy ties, and they didn't fail to deliver, and 3 very, very good games as well. So I think that the paying fan would have been very pleased with the entertainment on show, definitely.
Eddie, you couldn't make it this year up there, but I tell you, it was great wandering around. I went for a long walk on Sunday morning, and you just saw rugby league shirts everywhere, and all different fans all mingling in together.
Fantastic, and a unique event in every sense of the word. And I know that Nigel Wood has many critics in the game from his time at the Rugby Football League, but fair play to Nigel. It was his original idea. It came about because the Challenge Cup had moved on the BBC's behest to the back end of the season, so we were left without what I used to call a spring festival, and that was in May. So now the BBC moved the Challenge Cup back to May, which is its rightful place in my opinion. So we had to move the Magic Weekend. They moved it to where they did in July. Fantastic weather, best weather of the year. 6, as you say, great games. 3 blockbusters, but 3 others that more than wiped the feet. 62,000 people. I've read on social media that the Euro women for their first game got 68,000. So what? It doesn't matter. There's 62,000 people. There's so many people had a great weekend. It was wonderful. Newcastle, well, they're saying that they are the favourites for next year and the years beyond. Every big city would want it. It's a great, great weekend. The Rugby League was fantastic. It was a shame it was on the same weekend as the Wimbledon finals. That's the only thing.
Yeah.
But fantastic, and a great advert, as Moz says, for our game.
So 2 days, 6 games, 55 tries, 312 points and a high of 28 degrees, and Eddie has said 62,000 fans. We sent out the former Love Islander Frankie Foster around St James's Park.
Get up, get out of bed, cheer up, the sun is made, live, love.
What's your favourite thing about Magic Weekend?
It's brilliant that everyone's together. Everybody is together. All the teams are joining up. It's brilliant to be together.
Right, how do we see the derby playing out?
Close, very close.
Are you confident?
Yeah, win before.
Massive, red and white all the way, no problem.
I don't know. I think we'll lose.
No confidence. What's your favourite thing about Magic Weekend?
Oh, just the atmosphere, and it's class. So fun. We just come here to get drunk, really.
Newcastle itself is the best place to have the Magic Weekend. Everything's right here in the town. It's fantastic, all the beer and everything.
It's a real good crack. It's really good fun. Yeah.
And it was a brilliant Hull derby. And look, there's quite a few drink consumed, but there's no trouble. Everyone is mixing. And it's great because it is in the city centre as well, isn't it?
Absolutely. You're just a short walk from all of the entertainment that obviously a lot of those people were enjoying over the course of the weekend. I mean, I've been up there myself. It's a fabulous, fun city to be in.
And it's a friendly city, isn't it?
Very friendly. The Geordie. I heard on Sky that they said thank you to the people of Newcastle, thank you to the people at St James's Park for making them feel so welcome. And it came across. It does. It comes across. I love the comment from the girl. Well, I'm only here to get drunk. And she's in a black and white shirt. She probably got drunk after the match as well, I would think.
Yeah, it was a great game, wasn't it? The whole derby. Let's talk about the game starting on Saturday. Wakefield 26, Toulouse 38. And Toulouse, their next 3 games are at home. Leeds, Salford and Hull. Toulouse are right back in it.
They're right back in it, and this was one of the games I circled before the Magic Weekend, said this is going to be a blockbuster. If they've got any aspirations of staying in the Super League, they really need to win this game, and it didn't look like it was going to happen in the first half. You know, Wakefield had it all their own way, but Toulouse showed some great spirit and great fight back, and they ended up winning the game, and they've put themselves right back in the shop window now, just 2 points behind Wakefield, and Wakefield will be a very worried club now, and as you mentioned, the home games, they've got a great chance of catching him, better goal difference.
Toulouse have given themselves a massive chance, haven't they?
Huge. I mean, Toulouse now have nothing to lose because they've got 3 matches at home, as you rightly said. They won the first one of their hot July against Hull Kingston Rovers, and that was the end of Tony Smith up there in the northeast. But they won that one. They've beaten Wakefield at Magic, which looked a little bit tricky, but they've got 3 more to come now. I think they have to look at what on earth David Fafita was doing at the end of the first half. I mean, his sin binning was, well, criminal is the wrong word, but for his team it was criminal. You know, it was a nothing offence. He gets 10 minutes in the bin. While he's off, what did Toulouse score? I think they got 3 tries while he was off in the 10 minutes to turn it round. Later on, Rob Butler does the same. He gets sin binned. In that heat, midday, you can't be playing, he'll tell you better than me, I'm sure, you can't be playing with 12 men for 20 minutes less in a game. You cannot do it.
No, well, it's all in the scoreline, isn't it? And we've seen throughout this year, you know, discipline does have a huge effect on the team, particularly in that heat, and it really did bite Wakefield on the backside.
Well, in the second game, it looked like Wigan were about to pick up 2 points, and this happened.
Wellesby at the hub of everything again. Good ball. Off goes Batchelor taking him on himself. Batchelor's ball and Lomax with the try. Saints are ahead. Johnny Lomax has stunned this Magic Weekend crowd. He has broken Wigan hearts in the closing minutes of this game. Use your heads, he says to his teammates. Take your hats off to Joe Batchelor.
And it finished St Helens 20, Wigan 18. What a play by Joe Batchelor.
Fantastic run from Batchelor in the end. I mean, I thought he showed up well all the way through the match. It was a high quality match. I remember Steve McNamara said during the halftime summary on the telly that in any other game you'd probably be looking at 4 tries to 3 or 5 tries to 4. Such was the quality of the defence. And Wigan looked like they'd done it, hadn't they? It looked like they'd weathered the storm, but then, bump, you know, Brad Singleton gets sent off. We talk about the discipline again. Off he goes. He's now got a 3-match ban as a result of that. So the red card apparently was justified, and St Helens come back and win it at the death. Batchelor's run, Lomax. What about Regan Grace's try as well on the other side, just a few minutes earlier than that? I mean, a tremendous game.
Jack Wellesby played.
Wellesby's is an outstanding player.
Again, yeah.
Outstanding player, Jack Wellesby.
Wigan had the say in that game, though, didn't they? When they got the players sent off.
And they beat level on points.
Yeah, they actually scored first when they got the players sent off, and just agonising. What a classic! You know, that's the classic rugby league derby. Wigan and St Helens, and lived up to all expectations. It was fantastic.
St Helens missing a goal kicker as well. I know they had a whole host of players out injured, Tommy Makinson being one of them, who kicks his goals.
It cost them in Catalan.
He cost them in Catalan the week before, the fact that they haven't got a goal kicker. It's so important, you know. A lot of people say, well, our game is reliant on scoring tries, which it is, but blimey, you've got to pop those 2 extra points over, haven't you, Adrian, all the time. And it's the lack of a goal kicker for Saints has hurt them.
Yeah.
Now, John Bateman's out for a month for Wigan as well. Right then, I don't think you've been in the studio this season when both Leeds and Warrington have won. Are Leeds now going in the right direction? And if you look at the table, look, they've got a chance of the playoffs now, Leeds, after what's been a poor season.
Yeah, they have, and you know, we spoke a few weeks back about the new appointment. I think it's the right decision by
Because Cass have played well recently.
Yeah, they're one of the form teams of Super League, and you know this was a game where it was a bit of a Warrington and the Leeds result was a bit of a shock in my opinion, but the fact that they both got the win, great for the respective clubs. But Leeds, they are going upwards. They did have a big loss against St Helens away, but you know a lot of teams will go there and get defeated anyway. But I think there's a lot of experience coming back, with the injured players, and I think a lot of confidence is being raised in the club with the new coach. So onwards and upwards for the Leeds Rhinos.
Yeah, and Leeds, congratulations to them for wearing the special Rob Burrow kit at the start, and I think his two daughters
his kids coming out.
led the team out onto the field as well. I mean, that's what Leeds are. They're class act Leeds. They really are. They deal with things like that absolutely magnificently, and all our hearts go out to Rob, obviously. But Rowan Smith has certainly turned them around. I mean, they're a little bit inconsistent, as you say. They go one week and they get absolutely slaughtered, and then the next week they come back and they play like this. But the top four have actually now they've broken away, haven't they?
Yeah.
So the big interest is from
it's 5 and 6.
5 to 12, isn't it? All the way down.
But the battle for 5 and 6, isn't it?
Yeah. 5 and 6, and there are everyone from 5 to 11, well, to 10 are certainly in the heat of the battle now.
Just to talk about Warrington, as you spoke, Mark, you wouldn't have picked them to beat the Catalan Dragons, who were going very well about the business. And I dare say there's the most inconsistent team in the Super League is Warrington Wolves. But can they kick on from this major?
Well, we'll talk about Warrington in a moment. That was Sunday's game. Sunday started with Huddersfield versus Salford Red Devils. Huge boost for Huddersfield before the game. Ian Watson extended his contract as well to 2026, and Huddersfield came out on top 30-18. They just didn't get going. Really.
No, they just had a bad start. The first 20 minutes, it was all Huddersfield Giants, and in that heat, you can't give a team that much possession, that much of a lead. But they did have the same in the second half. Salford come back. They did have a bit of momentum. They got the winner score within a score of Huddersfield, and everyone was saying, this could be a great comeback from the Red Devils, but just give themselves a little bit too much to do. And Giants were worthy winners on the day, but a great game, and Salford did play the part.
And not the result Salford wanted, but what a moment for Newcastle born and bred Sam Luckley. And it is a huge Newcastle fan, is a huge Shearer fan as well. He did the Shearer celebration when he scored a try as well, didn't he?
He did. He got a bit of stick for that afterwards as well, didn't he? But he looked good. Yeah, I mean, Huddersfield now, they've cemented their place in third because of the Catalans' demise. So, it's onward and upwards for Huddersfield. Ken Davies, I think, pulled off a masterstroke there by signing up Ian Watson, because I think I read somewhere that the NRL were actually looking at him as a possible, well, whether he'd go in as a first-team coach in the NRL is debatable, but they were looking to maybe poach him. There's the stability that Huddersfield now want. They've got Tuilola here playing out of his skin. Tuilola here in his interview after the match, he described him, he said he's got little man syndrome. I don't exactly know what that means, but he has got something, Ian Watson. He is an excellent coach. He did for Salford what very few others could do.
Yeah, got to the grand final.
Got to the grand final.
Challenge Cup final.
And the Challenge Cup final. Yeah. Okay, lost them both, but we
still
probably
got to a final.
Got them to two finals. Huddersfield. I just wish and hope that Huddersfield Giant supporters will go into that stadium now and fill it, because with Watson at the helm, between now and 2026, anything can happen. Anything. And he's got some real good talent there as well to work with.
You know him quite well, obviously.
Yeah.
Is he a little man syndrome? No.
Yeah, but I think all scrum halves are, aren't they? But I played all my junior stuff with Ian, and he was always a fantastic rugby league brain. He did have a great professional career, but probably lacked a little bit of pace to be a superstar as a professional. But he's took his rugby league brain into the coaching realm and done fantastically well wherever he's gone. And great stroke by Ken Davey at Huddersfield there to sign him on. And hopefully we could have another player in Super League, in the Huddersfield Giants.
Indeed.
Right then, Moz, you're not a chance to do this very often this season, but as a former Warrington skipper, look, we had some Warrington fans as our guests on Sunday. They were looking forward to this game. Now, what a result for Warrington. 36-10 against Catalan Dragons.
Yeah, and if you look at it, on paper, you want to give Warrington a chance. If you did see Warrington winning, it'd be just scraping it, 2 points or 4 points. But they schooled the Catalan Dragons, didn't they? So not many teams get to do that. So hopefully, that'll give the team a bit of a boost, a bit of a buzz, and they can kick on now. But they have been extremely inconsistent. But let's hope this is a start of a good run. And I think they can still mathematically make the playoffs. So they'll be going to win as many games as they can to try and climb the ladder. But it's a start anyway.
Which certainly shows we're playing for Daryl Powell, doesn't it, that performance?
It does, and I've been very critical of the players more than Daryl Powell, in the past, saying you don't look like they're trying really, but you couldn't say that at the weekend. I thought every player was great, and it just goes to show, what a win can do. Hopefully that'll give them the confidence now. But Daryl Powell is a tried and tested coach. Theoretically should be doing better at Warrington, and let's hope this is the springboard for that.
And we finished on Sunday with an absolute cracker. Hull KR 28, Hull 34. What a game, Eddie.
Fantastic game, and as has happened...
Hull KR very lucky.
Well, as has happened so often in the past, the last game of magic produces the one major controversial moment. Was that a try underneath the sticks for Elliot Vincella or not? It looked to me, watching it, 200 miles away at home, as though he'd lost the ball, but the decision was made. They were upset, obviously, but a great game, another great advert for the whole derby. Absolutely magnificent advert for what's going on up there. And
just massive for Brett Hodgson, wasn't it, to get that result?
Huge. I just wonder whether Hull KR think that he should have scored, Vincella. Probably with his fingers on. This is where it's so difficult for the video referee. Fingers on the ball, but the lad Elliot Longstaff, what a match he had, and what a match that all the young debutants had for the Black and Whites. There was Longstaff, there was Josh Sim, Ellis Longstaff, Josh Sim, and Jack Walker. Now Jack Walker, for some reason, was given the man of the match by John Wells. Ellis Longstaff scored 2 tries and saved 1. That's a man of the match performance for me, and the kid's only he's a teenager. He played previously for Warrington 14 times, never scored. He goes to this whole derby, a cauldron of a match anyway, the last match of Magic Weekend, and he has a performance like that. Outstanding, but a relieving win for Brett Hodgson. Poor old Danny Maguire, first game as a head coach. Yeah. Now he knows what he's in for, because he's gone from there to there to there to there. And I saw him at one stage, and he saw one try being chalked off. And he went, what was that for? Which we all say, don't we, when we're watching it. But Danny's now in the hot seat.
He'll have to get used to these emotions. He'll probably go a bit greyer and bolder over the next couple of years. But
it's a great opportunity for Danny, though, isn't it?
Great opportunity, and I'm pleased the Hull KR club, give him this chance to at least to the end of the year. But then he'll go back into the assistant role. But just going back on the game, that was my favourite game of the whole weekend. The lead changed hands so many times, and we talk about the Wigan and Saints derby, but the Hull is because it's their only hometown derby. It's probably the biggest and best, and what a game it was.
And that was massive for Hull, so they're 5th. Castleford are 6th. Right, you're watching the Sportsman, your home of Rugby League.
You're watching Sportsman Rugby League. Subscribe for exclusive content.
And I'm delighted to announce a couple of live streams coming up very shortly for you. This Sunday, York are playing really, really well. It's York versus the Huddersfield Giants. The stream will start at 2:45. Kickoff is at 3 o'clock, and that's in the Betfred Women's Super League. And then the following Sunday, a first for the Sportsman, Wheelchair Rugby League. This is Halifax versus the London Roosters, and the coverage then starts at 1:45. That's in the Betfred Wheelchair Super League. And the Super League is fantastic. If you've never watched wheelchair rugby before, make sure you watch the stream, because you get action like this. There we are. That is just phenomenal. So we've got the Women's Super League this Sunday, and then the following Sunday, the Betfred Wheelchair Super League. And we spoke about last time you were in. The wheelchair game is just fantastic, isn't it? It's brutal as well.
Fantastic version of our sport, and they're so athletic, these boys, and you know, to have the skills to do all the ball handling and the kicks with their hands, and then, you know, to remember to push the chairs as well. It's unbelievable. I've actually played it, and it's absolutely, it really is brutal, but great sport to watch, you're right.
It's great, isn't it, how we've got the Wheelchair World Cup as well, the Women's World Cup, all going on together.
Yes, all coming up in the autumn. Yeah, fantastic. I mean, I'm a newcomer to watching wheelchair rugby league, but blimey, you're right. You know, I can see you being a star in that, because the tackles are, you know, unbelievable. Unbelievable. And you can play, can't you? Because they do have to have so many able-bodied people.
Yeah, that's
know?
right. Yeah.
So I can see.
Having played it,
I can see a new career dawning.
Look out for the live stream week on Sunday on the Sportsman. Right, let's talk round 19 of the Betfred Super League. Live game on Friday night is St Helens versus Huddersfield, and this could be an absolute cracker.
Yeah. If Huddersfield have got you know, the aspirations to go all the way, and we've picked them as dark horses to feature in the playoffs and/or Old Trafford, it's going to be teams like St Helens that they're going to have to go up against and get the victory. But both teams are going to go into this very confident after good wins in the Magic Weekend. The fact that it's at home soil with St Helens, I'll just edge Saints as the favourites there, but Huddersfield, you know, with the team in form, you never know what you're going to get.
I think we all fully expect Saints to be in the grand final, don't we? And that was a huge win against Wigan, wasn't it? Because Wigan would have gone level on points.
Yeah, they've got the little breathing space now, haven't they, of a 4-point cushion. But I don't expect Christian Wolf and St Helens to take their finger off the pulse or their foot off the gas at any stage in this season now. And this is a test, you're right, Moz, of Huddersfield's ambition. Going to the home of the champions. We're all waxing lyrical about the job Ian Watson's doing and the fact that some of his players are playing out of the skin. Jermaine McGilvray, you know, he's packed up his international career, sadly, from England's point of view, but he's going great guns in the Super League. Played really well in Newcastle. And they go to St Helens high on confidence. And that will be a cracking game, I think, Friday night. I really do. I mean, Saints, you would never... Who would said it once? Never write off the Saints. No, you will never ever say that St Helens would be beaten, at home particularly, by Huddersfield. But in 2022, maybe.
And then Wigan versus Hull, obviously. Wigan will have been gutted on Saturday afternoon, but Hull, that was a huge win for Hull, huge win for Brett Hodgson, because the pressure was beginning to get on, Brett.
Yeah, I mean, all the coaches must be feeling the heat if they're not in the top four, and the way the top four has, as I said earlier on, broken away. I don't know the detail of the loan deals that Brett Hodgson has done, but if Josh Sim is allowed to play, you know, it would be very, very interesting to see how this one goes. And also, you know, well, they will be allowed to play, won't they? They've got to be allowed to play. Yeah. Josh Sim, Longstaff,
Jack Walker,
and Jack Walker. They'll all be playing, and they were outstanding.
Yeah, they were
outstanding in the Magic Weekend. All three of them. You know, they've grasped the chance with both hands. In the background of their parent clubs, can't get a go. Boy, did they light up St James's Park.
It'd be interesting to see how Wigan react from there. It was an heartbreaking defeat, wasn't it? You know, and sometimes when you do have a loss like that, it does affect you. You're a bit deflated the week after.
But if Matty Pete takes stock, Wigan have just come on so far this year, haven't they?
Oh,
they're a different Wigan.
Well, they should have won. Should have beat St Helens at the weekend. So, you know, Matty Pete, even though he's a young, inexperienced coach, I think he's a great coach. So I think he'll get the boys up, and I can see Wigan getting the win here, even though Hull did get the win. It was probably a fortunate win against Hull KR, but the fact that it's at Wigan, you know, it was quite a big deal nowadays. Home advantage, particularly at Wigan. So I think Wigan will be favourites in this game.
Saturday afternoon, Castleford Tigers versus Warrington Wolves live on Sky. Right, the former Warrington captain. Right, after that performance against the Catalan Dragons, look, I know they're away from home, but you want to see Warrington kick on now.
Yeah, they need to back it up, definitely. It was a real statement, that win against the Catalan Dragons. But we do know how good Castleford are going. You know, they had a blip last weekend, but it's a bit of a cauldron. You know, I mentioned the home patch again. and there's not many more intimidating places to go than Weldon Road, the jungle. So it'll be tough for Warrington, but they need to win. They need to back it up. But I'm sure Lee Radford will have something to say about that.
And Eddie,
sure he will.
Toulouse versus Leeds. This is the first of 3 home games on the bounce for Toulouse.
Yeah, a very important part of the season coming up for Leeds. Leeds will not have Matt Pryor with them in the south of France because he's lost his appeal about his 2-match ban, so he misses this one. Rowan Smith, as we said earlier on, has certainly got Leeds Rhinos moving again. Sylvain Houlez seems to have something going for him now at Toulouse. You know, he's done a bit of recruiting. He's rather than build for the season start, he's building within the season to try and make sure that they stay in Super League
he'll have
next year.
pinpointed these 3 home games,
without a shadow of a doubt.
Because I know it's hot in his country at the moment.
Yeah.
But it's going to be very hot for these 3 games out in Toulouse.
It'll be 40 degrees plus. I mean, we've got health warnings in this country for the weekend.
For Leeds, Salford and Hull, it's going to be very hot.
Really tough. It really will be tough.
The travel factor as well, you know, that always has an effect on the team going away. So they'll be confident to lose.
They will. Well, they've just won their first match off French soil at Newcastle. They won on French soil against Hull Kingston Rovers, and they targeted this at the end of June. They targeted the hot month of July.
So can we see Toulouse beating Leeds?
Yeah, it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise. You would make Leeds favourites because they are Leeds Rhinos. But I mentioned before the slight inconsistencies we've had. You know, they played brilliantly, then they fall back into the shell. I think the travel. You're right, Mars. I think the travel will be a problem. I think the heat will be a problem for Leeds as well. Imagine they've been training in the heat all week, haven't they?
Now this is a huge game. This is 10th versus 11th. This is Hull KR versus Wakefield Trinity.
Yes, very, very tough one to call this. Wakefield will be looking over the shoulders at Toulouse, so I think they would have had a crisis talks this week. You know, every game's a must-win game, and they probably pinpoint Hull KR saying it is a very winnable game, but Hull KR are under Dan Maguire. Probably should have won at the weekend. I think a new coach always reinvigorates a team, so I think Hull KR will be favourites here, but it's probably the tie that I can't really choose the winner as clear cut as I normally could.
Well, last time you were in here, you correctly predicted that Salford would win at Warrington.
Yeah.
Now Salford at home to Catalan.
Tough one. Catalan's just come off quite a heavy defeat at Magic Weekend, so they'll be smarting. They'll be, trying to get back on track. But Salford are going about their business all right, and they have got a good record at home. Be close one, but I'd say Catalan Dragons are favourites in that one. I'm going to take my lads to that one, Mark. I'm going to have a watch. So it should be a nice game in the heat, and
Salford Catalan's family, Eddie.
Well, I don't want to douse the flames of the Warrington Wolves revival, but Catalan were missing a host of stars last weekend.
They struggled down the middle.
They struggled down the middle. No McAlorum, no Mike McMeekin. The list is endless. I think it depends for Catalan how many of them come back for this match at Salford at the weekend. On paper, just looking at the 2 teams and the 2 names of the teams, you can't see Catalan losing it. But Salford, going well under Paul Rowley, was very disappointed last week with his team's performance. Very disappointed. It's a toss of the coin, that. I think it depends on who Catalan Dragons have got coming back, if they have any of their big stars. But with Tompkins there, and
well, there's a good spirit there at Salford after a terrible start against Huddersfield. They did show plenty of spirit, so they'll need to call on that. But flip of the coin, then, you reckon?
I think so. Yeah, I wouldn't like to pick that one. I mean, yes, Catalan should win. You're right. Salford with their spirit. It'll be interesting to see that one. It'll be interesting to see the result of that, definitely.
Right, gents, we're running out of time, but we'll squeeze in Try of the Week.
Welcome to Try of the Week. I'm Ross Fiddies, and here are this week's contenders. Try number 1, it's Hunslet at home to West Wales Raiders in League One. There's a break here from Jordan Syme. He's got Jimmy Watson in support, and Watson's had a great game. He brushes off the defence and he crosses over for the Leeds outfit. Try number 2, and we stick with League One. It's Oldham on the attack here. Wellington spins out of the defence and does well to get the offload. Liam Copland with the ball now, and he's got the pace to outrun the Hornets defence here, and to rub salt into the wounds, he runs it over under the posts. To the Championship for try number 3, Barrow on the attack and Samet with the pass out wide into the arms of T. Ritson, and look at that dive, what a finish. Try number 4, and it's the Year 8 boys Champion Schools final. Ryburn Valley up against Standish Community High, and it's Bottomley from Ryburn making a break here. He brushes off one defender with ease and another. It's like a domino effect here at Kingston Park. There's a last-ditch attempt around the legs, but Bottomley makes it look easy, and it's a sensational solo try under the posts. To the Magic Weekend for try number 5, 10 minutes left on the clock. Field bursts through the line and comes back on the inside, but he's got French over on the edge. Look at that kick, it bounces awkwardly, but French is able to collect. It's a hop, skip and a jump and a try for Bevan French. And finally, try number 6, Warrington dominating at St James's Park. Quick hands from Ratchford into the arms of Clark. To Williams, who comes running onto the ball, and he crashes over to seal the deal for Warrington Wolves. 6 tries, but only one winner. Head to the R-League app now to vote for your favourite.
Yeah, get voting. Right, just before we finish, I was lucky enough to be in Newcastle. I think we're going to be in Newcastle next year. We're going to wait, but I think it gets our vote, doesn't it, Newcastle?
Yeah, Newcastle certainly does. I thought the magic at the Etihad at Manchester was also very, very good. But the beauty, as we said earlier on about Newcastle, is the ground's right in the middle of the city centre. Yeah. You come out of the ground, you fall into the restaurants, the pubs, you know, the hotels are close. I'm told the hotels made a fortune over the weekend because the rates obviously went up with 62,000 people looking for a bed. But, you know, Newcastle, yeah, why not? Newcastle is... And, by the way, if we're going to start the World Cup in Newcastle against Samoa, why shouldn't we go back to Newcastle and build on the progress that we've made over the past... It's 5 years it's been up there now, isn't it, I think? 5-6 years.
Yeah, we need to sell out Newcastle on the 15th of October, don't we, for that first game? Yeah,
that'll be incredible for the first game of the World Cup over here. But you spoke about Nigel Wood before, you know, bringing the Magic weekend to Rugby League, and you can tell you're onto something good when the Aussies nick the idea. They've started doing it over there. They nick very few of our ideas, but they've actually implemented it over there, haven't they? So well done to Nigel Wood, and you know, let's hope it's here to stay, the Magic weekend.
Thanks, fellas. Enjoyed your company. Don't forget the live game on Sunday. We're bringing York versus Huddersfield in the Betfred Women's Super League. Enjoy the action.